everybody. Welcome to another amazing episode of Youth Connect. I am Ian.
I am Kevin.
Hi, I'm Logan.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey.
Okay, welcome to our Youth Connect, folks. You know, it is so awesome to have you on another amazing Friday. And with Friday always comes another fun episode of Youth Connect. It's going to be a bit interesting. And I will tell you, folks, there are going to be some crazy changes happening soon. So do tune in next time we have Youth Connect because something might have changed since last time. It's not going to be too crazy. Youth Connect is still going to be Youth Connect that you know and love. But you know what? It might be done on a new platform. And you know what they say. New platforms mean new opportunities, which means new growth. But for those who don't know, what is Youth Connect? Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that was created so that everybody in our community could know the information by the community for the community. And we've got community news, Ontario news, weather, good news, weird news, cooking news, cooking updates, and of course, live music. That's like the best part, at least that's what I've heard from some. But if you guys know, there are many, many things coming up. But the first thing that we always have to do, of course, is some gaming news. I thought a little bit of a retro theme would be really nice. Go back to the classic theme. Of course, I'll keep Logan's and Kevin's and Jeff's intros with the new style, but I just absolutely love that retro style. Anyways, time for your first gaming news. So I am so baffled that Toy Story has made it to its 5th rendition, and following the release of the official trailer for Toy Story 5, fans online began speculating that the indie game composer Toby Fox may be involved in the film's production. Shortly after the trailer premiered, Toby Fox shared a post on social media expressing excitement about the announcement and stating, and I quote, "I can't wait for you guys to see what we have in store for you this time." The wording quickly caught the attention of followers, with many interpreting the phrase "we have in store" as a possible hint towards his involvement in the upcoming Pixar project. Now, I will remind you, Toby Fox is known to be a little trickster, a little jokester, and sometimes he does say these silly little things which may or may not be true. At the time of writing, at the current moment, there is technically no official confirmation from Pixar or the Walt Disney Company regarding Toby Fox's contribution to the film, but I am very intrigued to know who it might be. I know the currently listed composers are Randy Newman, who's worked on all previous entries in the Toy Story series, and if Toby Fox is being serious, how in goodness gracious did he get from Undertale to Disney's Toy Story? Now, if you guys know Toby Fox, there's a joke known as Friend Inside Me, and it is known as a monochrome Woody. And that joke has gone left, right, and center, and we never know. If it means that we are going to see that, my mind's going to be blown. But knowing Toby, he's just being a little bit of a jokester. And if you guys haven't seen the Toy Story 5 trailer, I recommend checking it out. It's actually an interesting premise this time. You know, it's a bit different than 3 and 4 and kind of goes back to that Toy Story 1 kind of storytelling, which I think is really cool. It should be more related about toys, of course, and the toys against the internet. Ooh, very scary. Very, very scary. Anyways, that has been your first gaming segment, the first segment of Youth Connect. And if you guys know, we got to keep it rolling because we have more people to bring you some awesome news. And next up, I hope you guys are ready. Next up, we have Kevin. And Kevin's going to be sharing us some all-important news, sports, and weather. But more importantly, very important, that interesting fact. What is that interesting fact going to be? You never know with Kevin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Connect News. I'm your host, Kevin Ruja, and here's what's making news today. The grassroots group in Etobicoke under fire for setting up outside Toronto Seniors Housing Building. The mayor awards Dr. Joseph Wong the key to the city for his advocacy for seniors. The Japanese-style egg salad sandwich is part of 7-Eleven's Canada Plan for Growth. And Canada captain Sidney Crosby doesn't take part in Canada's optional practice ahead of the Olympic semifinal. For the past year and a half, volunteers have been helping people in South Etobicoke's new Toronto neighborhood every Friday. They distribute food and warm clothing to those in need. The group is called Food for Now. Many people in the area depend on them, especially seniors. One person told CTV News Toronto that the program helps them when money is tight. However, Food for Now has had problems because it was set up outside of a seniors apartment building in 2825 Lakeshore Boulevard West, near 4th Street. The building is run by the Toronto Seniors Housing Corporation, which is in short TSHC. At the end of January, the group was informed that they were no longer permitted to operate on the property. Even so, they have continued to return. Many of the people who use the program, including many seniors, are upset with TSHC. The organization provides affordable housing to about 15,000 low and moderate income seniors in 83 buildings across Toronto. It was created by the City of Toronto in 2021 and began operating in June 2022. It works closely with Toronto Community Housing, which owns the buildings. Since 3rd of February, nearly 2,000 people have signed an online petition asking for Food for Now to be allowed to keep operating at that location. Olivia Chow gave a special honor to Dr. Joseph Wong on Thursday. She awarded him the key to the city to thank him for helping Toronto's Chinese community and supporting seniors for more than 50 years. Dr. Wong moved to Toronto from Hong Kong. He first opened a family medical clinic. Later, he worked hard to create a center that would care for elderly people in a way that respected their culture and language in 1994. The first Yi Hong Center for Geriatric Care opened. Today, it has 4 locations across the Greater Toronto Area. In the late 1980s, Dr. Wong also spoke out against unfair and negative media stories about Chinese Canadian students. The key to the city is one of the highest honors a mayor can give. It is awarded to the people or groups who make Toronto a better place and give back to the community. Past winners, including filmmaker and activist Sarah Polley, singer The Weeknd, filmmaker Guillermo del Toro, Aga Khan, musician Gordon Lightfoot, and in 2019 NBA champions, which is of course the Toronto Raptors. There is a sandwich that many foods lovers have traveled all the way to Japan just to try. Some people have even thought about how to bring it home through customs so their friends could taste it too. It's not expensive, it costs only a few dollars and comes in simple plastic wrapping. Even the late food writer Anthony Bourdain loved it. He called it Pillows of Love. The sandwich is called a tamago sando, which is a Japanese-style egg salad sandwich. It's sold at 7-Eleven, one of the biggest convenience store chains in the world. The sandwich is made with soft, crustless white bread filling with a lot of cooked eggs mixed with kewpie mayonnaise. It will be coming to Canada on March 4th. For 7-Eleven, this sandwich is more than just food. It is part of a 5-year plan to grow its business in Canada. Today, convenience stores have a lot more competition than before. Stores like Walmart, which are in almost every city with more than 10,000 people, sell snacks at a low price. Discount stores to do the same. Grocery stores now offer bigger snack sections and more ready-made meals. There are also food trucks near busy offices and fast food chains that serve walk-in customers and people ordering food delivery apps. To compete, 7-Eleven plans to do more than just sell a sandwich. The company also wants to change how it runs its business and expand by opening more franchise stores. And now moving to the sports news, Sidney Crosby hurt his leg and slowly walked off the ice during Canada's game at the Milan Cortina Olympics. Sorry for name butchering. He was hit awkwardly in the second period and his leg bent strangely. The game was against Czechia. Again, sorry for name butchering. Even without Crosby, Canada won 4 out of 3 in overtime in an exciting quarterfinal match. After the game, there was no clear update on Crosby's injuries. Many fans here worried and waited for news. Head coach John Cooper later said Crosby has by no means been ruled out of Friday's semifinal game against Finland. That means he might still be able to play. Crosby was hurt after being hit by defenseman Radko Gudas. After getting up, Crosby was not skating well and was hit again along the boards by Gudas and forward Martin Nakas. He then went to the bench and later to the locker room with the team's medical staff. He did not return to the game. If Crosby cannot play in the semifinals, another player will wear the captain's seat. The most likely choice is star forward Connor McDavid. Even if Crosby cannot return soon, his leadership and presence will still be important for the team. In today's weather forecast, we've got cloudy with showers this afternoon and the temperature is now 4 degrees. And tomorrow we will get scattered flurries. The temperature will be 0 degrees. And now moving to the interesting fact, we're of course talking about Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year, also known as the Spring Festival, marks the beginning of a new year on a traditional lunisolar Chinese calendar, marking the end of winter and the beginning of spring. This festival takes place from Chinese New Year's Eve to the Lantern Festival, which has been held on the 15th day of the year. The first day of the Chinese New Year falls on a new moon that appears between 21st of January and 20th of February. And I've got 6 interesting facts about the Chinese New Year. The first fact is the Chinese New Year falls on a different day each year. Chinese New Year isn't on the same day every year. It's usually in late January or February. The date is worked out by the new moon. The second fact is it's also known as Spring Festival. The Chinese New Year is also known as Spring Festival. This is because it signals the start of spring. It celebrates the start of new life. The third fact is in China, each year is linked with a different animal. The Chinese calendar goes in a cycle of 12 years. Each year is symbolized by a different animal. 2022 is the year of the tiger. It is believed that if you are born in a particular year, then you will have some of the characteristics of that animal. The fourth fact is the celebration lasts 15 days. But Chinese New Year isn't only celebrated on one day. Traditionally, it is celebrated across 15 years and ends where it is a full moon and ends with a Lantern Festival. However, the first 3 days are in a public holiday in China and are when the main celebrations takes place. The fifth fact is Chinese New Year ends with a Lantern Festival. The Chinese New Year always ends with a Lantern Festival. During the Lantern Festival, people will release flying lanterns into the sky. They will also spend it celebrating with their families. The Lantern Festival is all about reconciliation, peace, and forgiveness. And the last fact is lion and dragon dances are very popular around this time. Lion and dragon dances are very popular, in fact, and especially during the Chinese New Year, it is believed that they will bring good fortune to the local area. During these dances, you will hear lots of loud drums. The loud noise is said to drive all of the bad luck and spirits away. With that, we come to the end of my segment. Tune in for next week's news, weather, and your favorite topic, interesting fact. This is Kevin Aruja, and it's back to you, Aiden. Aiden, you're unmuted. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Kevin. You know, it's important that we catch each other and have each other's backs. My goodness, I didn't even notice I was muted. Phew! Thank goodness I was told. I cannot believe it. Also, I may have been using the wrong mic. This is a bit of a more High quality mic. My apologies. Chinese New Year, guys, is a big tradition. Fire horse is a very big thing because if you guys know, the lamb, which is me, by the way, is actually but behind the horse to catch the luck because basically you kind of follow right behind the horse, so you get the luck behind them. I think that's very important. I'm so surprised, Kevin, you didn't talk about the Olympics. Miss Judith said that it is crazy the things that are happening during the Olympics, so I'm very surprised.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah.
But you know what? It's okay. That's why I wanted to say, guys, recommend checking out the Olympics. The news there is absolutely bonkers. Now, I will say, thank you so much for mentioning Chinese New Year, Kevin. It's always important that we celebrate all types of holidays, and Chinese New Year is definitely one that you do not want to skimp out on. So thank you again.
You're
all
welcome.
right. Let's keep it rolling, folks. Second gaming news, or I'm lying to you. It's not gaming news. It's actually weird, but true news and facts. I almost forgot. Anyways, let's keep it moving. So this is very surprising, but it was noted to be a bit of a reversal of traditional roles. A dog was rescued by mountaineers after spending a frigid night in a hollow beneath a mountaintop. So 5 dogs and 4 hikers were approaching the summit of Fionn Behin in the Scottish Highlands near Achnasheen recently, when their dogs fell through a cornice, a term for a large buildup of snow on the edge of a cliff face or overhanging ledge. The hikers rescued 4 of the imperiled pooches, but Aggie, a 5-year-old spaniel, could not be found. She had fallen into a hollow beneath the summit. And the next morning, the Donnell Mountain Rescue Team assembled along with Aggie's owner and a local deer stalker to find her. It didn't take them long once they arrived at the point where she fell through the cornice, and a rescuer was lowered with rope down to the hollow where Aggie, no worse for wear after a cold night, 3,000 feet up, was so happy to see someone. The incident highlighted the risk posed by cornices, wrote actually by a lot of people. The ledges of snow form in strong winds and overhang the edges of steep slopes and can be difficult to spot. You know what, guys? Mountains are known to be very, very dangerous. Doesn't mean that you should never go to a mountain ever again, because I've heard that snowboarding and skiing and things like that, we have many members of our community actually participate in it. I know that Zoe does. And you know what? I'm very glad that they saved that dog because, we always love happy endings for stories, and that definitely is a happy ending. Really, really cool. You know what? That's your weird but interesting and very happy news for today. Hopefully now they realize maybe don't go too high up on the mountains. But you know what? If you live in the South or if you live near the mountains, you're going to go out every single day. There's no need for cars when you can travel by dog skiing. It's so cool, guys. I can't tell you enough. Now, gotta keep the ball rolling and moving because who do we have up next? If I remember correctly, I'm just joking. Next up, we have Logan, and Logan's going to be bringing us some culinary news that he has to share with us today.
Good afternoon, Youth Connect. I am Logan, and for today on Culinary and Restaurant News, a Niagara restaurant is being named a popular Michelin contender. A Crystal Beach restaurant was tragically destroyed in a fire, and food and safety concerns over social media cooking. Starting off with our first story, a newly opened restaurant in Ontario might be Canada's new breakout star. Reeve is an Italian-Sicilian restaurant that has opened at Niagara and many are touting as a major Michelin star contender. Their head chef, Adriano Capuzzello, was born in Sicily in Italy and his restaurant aims to combine cuisines all around the world with a classic touch of southern Italy, aka Sicily. The restaurant's centerpiece is a titular wood fire that every dish on the menu touches at some point, from cuts of venison to cuts of ginger root. Each of them get their time to bask in the fire's heat, perfumed in its smoky and earthy flavor. But where one restaurant in Canada is succeeding, another comes to a tragic end. As this Tuesday, firefighters in Crystal Beach were dispatched to deal with a fire that engulfed Amalfi's Trattoria and Bar. Praised as a quintessential Italian restaurant, Amalfi's offered several delicious Italian options like pizza, salad, pastas, veal and eggplant parm, tiramisu, and others for the delicious options. Firefighters spent all day battling the fire, even having to remove a portion of the roof with an excavator in order to battle it from above. Unfortunately, things are not looking good for the restaurant, which the fire chief has already called a lost cause. As of now, the cause of the fire is unknown, but an investigation has been launched. Now, for my final piece of news for this week, social media cooking channels. Are they educative or are they dangerous? That is the question being posed by several food and safety experts all around the globe. Now, I'm all sure you had a day like this before. You sit down after a long day, and whether it's your TikTok or your Instagram or your YouTube shorts, you're just scrolling through, and suddenly a perfectly timed cooking video appears. And one video goes to another, and you go on a binge watch. These videos are very addictive to binge due to their short form nature which blends quick editing and fitting music tracks, making it satisfying to watch a person cook a meal that usually takes hours in only 1 minute. But food and safety experts are concerned that these videos aren't demonstrating proper food safety and handling due to their heavily edited nature, accusing these videos of being responsible for normalizing hazardous food handling techniques, such as thawing meat on countertops, cooking cooling large pots of food on the counter, or packaging hot foods directly into containers without cooling them first. All these practices potentially leading to dangers like food poisoning. Now, this is by no means the fault of these content creators. They're just doing what their viewers like the most, prioritizing speed and the flair and pizzazz over accuracy, and making sure that they're demonstrating safe techniques. But in the end, experts warn that it should be up to viewers to educate themselves more on food safety and handling techniques, and to not exactly replicate these content creators and the way they cook food in their videos, and to just be mindful about how you handle your food. Anyways, that just about does it for all the news I have this week. Thank you all for listening, and back to you, Aiden.
Logan, love the news. I will say this, content creators create content. And to be honest with you, I don't think they understand the concept of following basic, hygiene and things like that. They're just kind of creating something that's entertaining. And to be honest with you, the less they follow the rules, the more entertaining it is. I remember seeing something online on TikTok called the growing your own growing your own virus, where people were creating these concoctions of rotting food and whatever it was. And I don't know what they were trying to do. I don't know what was going inside of their brain, but they just thought, oh yes, that's a great form of content. Let's create some sort of new bacterial virus which could infect everybody. People really, when they want to create content, they'll do anything for content. And content creators are very, very scary. So do not mess with them and do not interact with one. I'm joking, of course, but it is kind of scary sometimes. The things that I see on TikTok, it's very scary. Thank you so much, Logan. That culinary news is always very important, adds that little bit of flair because nobody ever does cooking news, culinary knowledge. Bah. They always talk about, the news that's happening in local or global, but they never talk about cooking. So I love that cooking news. It just gives that little bit of spark. Anyways, your third story today, which is, of course, community news. I hope you're ready. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. The Super Ability crew was a little bit busy. Why? Well, if you know, going back to Kevin, Chinese New Year happened, Family Day happened, and of course, the weather has been absolutely bonkers. Monday, if you know, was Family Day, and that day is great for families to rest, connect, and spend time with the people that matter most. And, we always say community starts at home. Unfortunately, we were unable to do anything on Tuesday because we celebrated Chinese New Year, and it's important because we honor tradition, culture, and of course, new beginnings. Wednesday, we got back on track with Chat Cafe, followed by a Riddle Me classroom at 11. Very interesting. Brains were stretched, and we went through puns, brain games, and kind of riddles to really get our brains thinking. For Thursday, we kept it going. It was actually very interesting because on Thursday we did art class and we learned about a pillar of art. What did we learn? We technically learned some very important things, which is space, the pillar of space, and not the space in the sky, guys. I'm talking about the distance between something, how close it is, how far it is, if it overlaps. That's called space in art. I also want to say, very interestingly, Wednesday we were supposed to have our friendship dance, but unfortunately, like I said, the weather had other plans and freezing rain came. And for safety reasons, the dance was postponed, meaning it's not done. It's just coming a little bit later. And you know what? It's important because leadership means, guys, making smart calls when the weather gets too serious. But officially, the friendship dance will be moved to March 18th. So get ready for that, guys. And of course, on Friday, we gathered for our morning chat at 9:30. And then at 11 o'clock, we jumped in for general knowledge and Kahoot. And very shockingly, do you know who won first place? Gong Hei Fa Choi, which means Happy New Year or Happy Chinese New Year, which is very weird to me because how does Happy New Year win the Kahoot? Well, we have some jokesters and more than likely I know who it is, but it was a really fun week. It was a little bit less busy. And of course, at the end of the week, we always kind of gather here today and we kind of discuss about what happened this week. This week was crazy, very fun, very interesting. But you know what? It's not as interesting as hanging out with you guys right now. Anyways, I'm going to keep it moving, keep the ball rolling, keep the train going, fuel the tanks. Wait, I got one more. Batter the cake. Oh, I think I lost it there. Oh, darn it. Anyways, I'm just going to keep it moving. Next up, we have Jeffrey. And if you don't know who Jeffrey is, I'm shocked because you know what he has next? He has some live music, and it's going to be a blast.
Hello, everybody. I love that. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Jeffrey, and I'm here. Got some live music for you today, as always. And I'm playing you one of my favorite songs. It's very bouncy, very fun, very dance kind of thing. This is Opla Dee, Opla Da by the Beatles.
Don't worry, guys. Some technical difficulties from Jeff. Don't worry. I'll get him back on track.
Desmond is a bell in the marketplace. Molly is the singer in a band. Desmond says to Molly, girl, I like your face. And Molly sets it up, takes him by hand. Oh, plata, life goes on. La, la, life goes on. Oh, plata, life goes on. La, la, life goes on. Desmond takes a trolley to the jewelry store, buys a 20-carat golden ring, takes him back to Molly, waiting at the door, and Molly gets him there, and begins to sing. Oh, plata, life goes on. La, 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 life goes on. Oh, plata, life goes on. La, 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 life goes on. In a couple of years, they have built a home, sweet home. Couple of kids running in the yard. Desmond and Molly Jones, happy ever after in the marketplace. Desmond left the children at a hand. Molly stays at home and has a pretty face, and Molly takes him by hand. Oh, plata, life goes on. La, la, life goes on. Oh, plata, life goes on. La, la, life goes In a couple of years, they have built a home, sweet home. With a couple of kids running in the yard. Desmond and Molly Jones, happy ever after in the marketplace. Desmond left the children at a hand. Molly stays at home and does a pretty face, and Molly takes in her hand. Oh, plata, life goes on. La, la, life goes on. Oh, plata, life goes on. La, la, life goes on. In a couple of years, they have built a home, sweet home. Couple of kids running in the yard. Desmond and Molly Jones, happy ever after in the marketplace. Desmond left the children at a hand. Molly sends her home and does a pretty face, and Molly takes in my hand. Oh, plata, goes on. La, la, life goes on. Oh, plata, goes on. La, la, life goes on. In a couple of years, they have built a home, sweet home. Couple of kids running in the yard. Desmond and Molly Jones, happy ever after in the marketplace. Just like the children in her hand. Mom says the home and does a pretty face, and then she takes her and it takes her by hand. Oh, Betty, oh, Betty, what goes on? La, 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 and that goes on. Oh, Betty, oh, Betty, what goes on? La, 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 and that goes on. And you want some fun? And you want some fun? Take over the done. Thank you so much, everybody. This is Jeffrey, your live musician. I'll see you all next time. Check out my website, jeffreygamut.com. Anyways, back to you then. Bye, everybody.
All right, Jeff. You know what? I was definitely surprised. I was like, what is this song that Jeff is singing? And it is funny, it's wacky, it's a little bit interesting, and it just gives me a little bit of a jump in my body. Honestly, that was a great song. The Beatles always make such great music. Unfortunately, guys, when Jeffrey's done singing his song, that means we have reached the end of our Youth Connect episode. So sad. Anyways, if you did like Youth Connect, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Don't forget to click the bell.
Yes, sirree. Ring-a-ding-ding. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. You know what? I always say thank you guys so much for joining every single day. It's sometimes hard to keep this going every single 2 weeks, but I always love doing it with you guys. I like seeing Jeff. I like seeing Kevin. I like seeing Logan. You know, it's nice to meet up after, or technically meet up beforehand and talk after for a little bit before we have to head out, and talking to everybody that's in the chat right now. I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Spend time with family. Keep your loved ones close. And we, of course, will see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye, guys. Catch you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.